Bam, we're live. Sean Roddy, pay-per-view fee from the weekend. Thanks all. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Greg Glassman on this morning. Pretty pumped. Haven't talked to Greg. I talked to Greg so little in the last 2 weeks, maybe like 5 or 6 times. So I'm pumped to have him back on. To catch up. It's gonna be a good time. Also, in 59 minutes, Kill Taylor happens this week. We're doing it on Wednesday instead of Saturday. I guess Taylor's going somewhere where he will be off the grid on Saturday. So today's show sponsored by High Ground Beef Chips. Prize money is $2,000. I saw the workout. There's no way anyone's beating him. It is $2,000. It is a doozy. It is a doozy. Had a fun show yesterday with Jason Hopper. Really kind of him to come on. I reached out to Shane. Hopefully, I can get Tia on. Man, Shane's a busy dude. I think right after the games, he went to some like High Rock Summit or something. I was just like, geez, dude. Because you have to think that weekend was a lot for everyone. Good morning. Also, rumors, all sorts of rumors about where the CrossFit Games will be next year. Hey, good morning.
How are you?
What a setting.
Looks real, huh?
Yeah, AI has really gone.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I like the details with even the boats down there.
You even put my boats in. Yeah. I can have my kids run down there and get behind me, do all that shit now.
Hey, that's a cool shirt.
Thank you. It's Sims.
Yeah, that's cool. Is it cold in the morning there?
It you know what? It wasn't, and it is. And it's gonna be warm again in a few days.
Is Coeur d'Alene the kind of place where you could wake up and it's 50 and then during the day it's 100?
No, you'll know ahead of time what's gonna happen. So we see these cold fronts coming.
Oh, and is it nice reprieve?
I like it. I enjoy the cool as much as the hot, and I enjoy it more than the too hot.
How hot's the lake, Greg? The water?
75.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I tell people it's a real 75 too. It's not me bullshitting you. It's 68 or something.
Hey, and weren't you telling me something about the turnover of water in that lake is like the fastest for any lake its size or something like that?
No, but it's got a fast turnover, and the inputs are largely warm.
Meaning every year it's a whole new batch of water that comes down off the mountain.
I think it's 6 months, and I think like Tahoe, by comparison, the turnover rate is of 400 years, 600 years.
Wow!
Look it up. You can put any lake in and ask what the turnover rate is, the residency time.
Turnover.
The residency time of a lake, and it tells you how much it takes to get a drop, a molecule, or the whole lake flipped.
650 years for Lake Tahoe to have all brand new water.
Yeah.
Either through outflow or evaporation. And then is it just Lake Coeur d'Alene or something?
Yeah.
And for I put in CDA and it said Child Development Association.
COEURD''ALENE.
Thank you. God, I want to give me. I put turnover residency time. It's funny. It's giving me for Lake Tahoe. It gave me water. For Coeur d'Alene, it's giving me family medicine stuff. Turnover residency. I'll put lake water. Uh, 6 months. You're right. You nailed it. 6 months to 650 years. Holy cow.
Isn't that amazing?
And that's because I have to guess most of that's due to input, output, not evaporation.
That's right.
Okay.
Because they're not crazy different in terms of surface area. But it is cooler here.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's colder there.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Colder than Coeur d'Alene.
You're at 2,100 feet. It says the lake.
Yeah. We have one lazy input, 1,000 creeks and streams, and one big output, the headwaters of the Spokane River. And so the inputs are warm because there's small creeks and streams. It's not really snow melt from local. And it's pretty nice. 75 is good.
Hey, I had this the guy on yesterday who won the CrossFit Games, Jason Hopper.
Yeah.
And
congratulations, Jason.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool kid out of South Carolina. And he was talking about he used to train with Matt up in Vermont, and it was a really high volume, do all your work and don't quit. And he was there for a year.
Matt Fraser.
Yeah, and he got burnt out. He just said it wasn't for him. It was a lot of isolation training, like training. There weren't people around, and it was a lot of volume.
Yeah, I know where that comes from, but go ahead. And I know it's a mistake.
So
where this goes. That is where that goes.
So he comes home, and he said that he realizes that intensity is the most important part of training.
Yep. Yeah, and it's not sustainable. Listen, the games isn't a training dose. It's performance. And it's non-sustainable. If you train like that for a month, all the games athletes would be dead.
So then he goes on to say that, and this is pretty crazy for these types of athletes with the pathologies they carry. At least I think it is. It's pretty mature. He says he realizes it's more important to quit training in the middle of a workout if you're not going to, or not even start the workout if you're not going to be able to hit it intense. So if there's 2 workouts on the day that he's supposed to train with, and he gets to the second one and he's 2 minutes into a 10-minute workout and he feels like he can't do intensity, he won't do it. He says, of course, volume is still necessary, but like, hey, you're just not going to get the adaptation you need through intensity. And it just brought me back to the 50L ones I saw you talk about. I mean, you used to just drill intensity. And I remember you had really drilled it into Eva T, Nicole Carroll, and Annie Sakamoto, because they thought working out more than once a day was just complete idiocy, but they fully understood intensity to the point of crying at the end of workouts to get adaptation. And why I always just tell myself like a fairy tale story, like, oh, you push your intensity is important.
There's a fairy tale. I gotta stop you. There's a fairy tale story in David Salo at USC. He's an exercise physiologist, and he's offhand commenting to the swimmers, you're spending too much time in a fucking pool at half-assed efforts. They call it chasing the black line.
Yep. Water plane.
Yeah. And cool. He's basically told, prove it, put your money where your mouth is. You're an academic. This is sporting. And so he leaves USC and he forms Nova Aquatics. And the next thing you know, it's raining gold medals, and he's doing things like taking sprinters and setting world records at 10,000 meters. Big names come through the program. Of course he was right.
And then there was the school in Sacramento that picked up CrossFit because of that. To give them more dry land training.
It was the country club, Rockland or something in Sacramento. That's not it. Something Hills that had produced several Olympic champions and gold medalists.
Yeah, they had the dude out of there who was the guy before Phelps, and they had Misty something.
Yeah, Brian Nebata was the coach, and I got in his ear, and they started setting some national records for young kids in a place that had sent young kids off to the Olympics where young kids got gold medals. And that got me an up at Swim Fest, the largest of the swim deals. And that was a trip in and of itself. The reception there was fairly chilly. And I assumed my timing was bad because I was too close to dinner or something. And my host told me, no, dude, they hate you. And I go, why? And they go, well, you're preaching intensity and dry land training. Those are 2 things they're terrified of. Anything outside of the pool and the intensity that you bring to the game. And the very reason Brian Abeda had me there, and what David Salo was saying, you're not training with enough intensity, you're spending too much time in the fucking pool. But those are the same thing, by the way. Those are the same comment. You can't, if you train at the intensity you should, you're not going to be in the pool long. And so my friends and I we were kind of like go up Nicene Mark specialists, right? It's 9-mile hill climb.
Yep, very steep.
It's annoying as hell, especially a little sun on your back. But then we'd go ride with riders of similar enthusiasm, but knew that the way to ride was road ride, and 100 miles was their forte, and we're even competitive at that. We'd hang with them, and at the 80-mile mark, go, tell you what, we're going to see you later. We're going to turn this right now into the Nicene Marks hill climb, and we'd be sitting there on our second margarita by the time they showed up at the fucking endpoint. That's just how that is. The diminished, what appears to be diminished capacity in sprinters at greater distances is nothing but load. It's just load. You weigh too much to go around twice that fast. Cardiovascularly, you're superior. You haven't suffered the adaptations that make you go around twice fast. And twice is about the most around you want to go fast. If you're going 4 times around, you have a vertical leap of 5 inches and you weigh 125 pounds at 6 feet tall. You know those guys. It's not a good look.
I want to ask you some questions.
This will always be. There were Greek trainers that know what I know.
Let me ask you some questions around that. So I used to, when I tell my kids about it, we were doing hill sprints yesterday, and the way I explain it to them is just with a story, right? A fairy tale. And the fairy tale is this: hey, if you really push your body hard and catch it off guard and push it so hard that, you know, your head's throbbing, your body won't want to get caught in that position again. So it will adapt and make you stronger. It will build you stronger and prepare you so that that doesn't happen again. You know, that's like that's the limit of my science. But what is the science behind that? What's the mechanism that when you push to intensity, you know what that is that causes the full adaptation? Or is it more complex than can be explained here?
I know some of what's the important parts in having discussions with guys like Hinshaw and stuff. And that is that the adaptation systemically to lactate and lactic acid is at least as important as the local adaptation and clearance rate. You know, I'm really an empiricist, and I was able to spout the pathways theory of bioenergetics and metabolism. And you tell everyone there's three. Then some dude comes up and wins every award you can possibly win in molecular biology and produces a 4th.
Yeah.
And it changed nothing about what I was doing. I'm training as if there were 10.
Right.
We're going to move across broad time and modal domains, and it's going to maximize work capacity. You know, constantly very high intensity functional movement will maximize work capacity across broad time and modal domains. And then I'll let someone else figure out what that looks like in the fucking test tube.
Okay.
Right.
Let me ask you this: why did it work for Fraser? Then would you have to guess that he was always going intense, and he just had that capacity, that genetic capacity, even though he was doing massive volume, he also had the capacity to do them all intensely.
He came out of a good program and got a good start, and he's got good genetics. He's the son of 2 Olympians.
Yeah,
and he's got a good work ethic, and he seems to be a pain-resistant beast. You know, and I celebrate him for all of that. But I don't. The star athlete coach is a rare thing.
And he wasn't that. He ended up not being.
Yeah. That would be specting too much. You've heard of that? That's what I tell Will. You got specting too much, dude. Like, come back to Earth, and you won't be as discomforted.
What is the psychology behind that? Why aren't great athletes just naturally great trainers?
Oh man, Daniel Chaffee fucking nailed this, and I heard it secondhand. But he says that a coach is selfless, and you can just fill in the rest. The games athletes are far from fucking selfless.
Right. And that's not, you're not saying that in a derogatory way. You're saying it's the mechanism of what you want at the other end of the output.
I remember tripping on Eva T. I'm like, this is the 7th time you've told this client in 5 weeks about the Olympics in Helsinki. And I see it on the girl's face. She's looking at me like, we just did this.
Right.
And when you first got your Olympic fucking trainer, you're fucking stoked, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She's trying to establish her identity.
I've got an exception. Sorry to just step all over you.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Annie Sakamoto. She's the only tier 1 athlete and coach. And for me, unfair to her, I always thought she was coming up short on both. But remarkable training talent and a remarkable athlete. You know, in Nasty Girls, that's another way to look at that is look at Annie just kick the ever-loving shit out of Eva and Nicole. The only thing downside of that, if it had gone 2 more rounds, the other 2 wouldn't have been there.
Pat Lange, Black and White, how about I live in the world of facts? Frazier and Froning both did nothing but train for years, and they're the greatest. It works. But Lange, Froning's the first to admit that the reason why he stopped competing was because he was done with the intensity. He stopped competing as an individual because he was done with the intensity. And there's great conversations between him and Haley Adams about it. Even when he was getting remarkable times, he built up that level of fitness. He just didn't want to go hard anymore.
Loves to be the guy to do what he thinks is throwing the wrench and the chipper, but it's just a miss. Pat, to be a games athlete when Rich was a games athlete is a different thing to be when Matt is, and a different thing to be when this kid that's winning now is.
Yeah.
We had 15-year-old girls in the first 15-year-old girl competition at the games. In test, I had them do a workout that no man on earth could complete in the time space 5 years prior.
Hey, Greg, she was 13. You're talking about Papadopoulos?
I don't remember the name, but I remember it was my experiment. I wanted to see in a workout that got discarded because Frazier or whoever the fuck it or Rich couldn't do it. We're not talking about Amundsen level. We're talking about back there with your greatest who have ever lived. And how do you say they're the greatest that ever lived after Tia takes 8? That's kind of a weird thing. But I probably don't have your built-in biases against the women, Pat. With these kids that were doing CrossFit, I used to say that Blake, because he was stuck with me prior to going to school in the morning doing CrossFit and setting up, that he would one day be accused of being a genetic freak. And I remember that the workout that we did at a level 1, where first place finisher, it was a tie with Eddie Lugo and Blake.
Wow.
To finish the workout.
Oh, wow.
My 16-year-old son, my 15-year-old son, and a Navy SEAL were 1 and 2. And a 50-year-old captain, which caused another Army less than captain, I don't remember what he was, who's now a physician, now like a neurosurgeon, but it caused him to say that probably the greatest shame of his life is being beaten in PT by a 50-year-old captain in the Army. It was pretty funny. But these kids that are doing CrossFit now are going to be completely different than the kids. And the younger it happens, the more dramatic it'll be. This sport, I just said it, is the worst thing that ever happened to the affiliates. But this sport is in its infancy.
Well, hopefully it takes a step back and people start referring to it as a test rather than a sport.
Yeah, I'm in another place.
You are. With the sport of gymnastics, you can't do it without intensity, right? So like running, you can run it with intensity or not intensity. But from where you come from, you can't do a gymnastics routine without intensity, right? You'll fall off the bar.
These moves, let's call them, you've got moves, elements of a workout 1 through 10. Like they say there's 8 let's say there's 8 pieces in your workout on a ring routine. It'll take you to be competitive. Each of those 8 moves will have taken you years to develop.
Mm-hmm.
And working them, training them, hitting them in situ, just like, in solo, just doing your lock arm giants or press from back lever to planche. Those things, getting up on the ring and doing it, jumping off, chalking up, doing it again, looking at the videotape, getting off, doing it again, is an entirely different thing than taking all 8 together. An entirely different thing. I remember when we cracked the code on the I don't remember if it was Buds or what. They had this test, and there were like 7 different pieces to the test. And they'd do the pull-ups, and then everyone would walk over and do a swim and then get out. And 10 minutes later, they'd all go through the push-ups. And we just turned it into one workout under one clock and used the total time had to be what you had to get in each of those individual ones.
Mm.
And it went from impossible to doable to making the original test silly.
Mm.
And this is what happens to every gymnast. The season starts here in a couple of months, and it's time to take these 8 things that you've polished and honed to perfection and slap them together and do them all at once in a 2-minute space. And it's got a very Fran-like feel to it. Very Fran-like feel about that fun. But the other thing you can't do is stand there and huff and puff and hang over and look like you're dying and put your hands on your knees, because that'll get you 3/10.
So,
yeah.
So,
this is where Fran came from. It felt like that phase in the season where I'm putting my pieces together for the P-bar routine.
1 month into gymnastics, just doing it twice a month, my 8-year-old had a complete body composition shift. And this isn't a lazy kid. This is a kid who already trained 5 hours a day, did fighting, blah, blah, blah. But him learning to do the backflip and the back handspring in just these short, you know what I mean, like 8-second, 9-second bursts where you can't do a backflip without max intensity, especially when you're learning it. And so that up to his shoulders, his lats, his chest, his stomach, everything just started looking completely different. I'd never heard it like that. That's really cool. There's these 8 movements that maybe seem, when you first start gymnastics, impossible to do. Like holy shit, I'm going to learn a standing backflip. But then you learn all 8 of them, and then eventually you're stringing all 8 together.
In 2 minutes, one then the other.
Yeah. And so that's why gymnasts look like that, right? I mean, their arms are just stupid big, and they've never done a curl, and they have the biggest arms in sports.
Yep.
And that's that intensity.
Yep.
And then through CrossFit, there becomes just the whole mental thing with it.
It's a very similar. Listen, I've given nothing to gymnastics, but I've taken more than anybody.
Like if you're running a sprint and you slow down to 90%, there's nothing pushing you except yourself. It's pure, complete self-motivation. Whereas in gymnastics, you don't have a choice. You can break your fucking neck.
Gymnastics is gnarly. Hey, we had a little girl up here, Isla Hardy, who's at the entering ranks of pro surfing. She's, getting on airplanes and winning trophies and getting cash and stuff, right? She's got a sponsor. Neat kid. Great family. But Riley doesn't really live in that world. She's done gymnastics, lacrosse, and, traveled too much maybe. But she learned to get up on the surf boat and got encouraged to carve. And so she's turning and slicing and going from back on the wave to coming up into the boat. And
wow.
She's starting to carve. And her takeaway is, when do I get back to gymnastics? I think she knows.
Yeah.
It was like, where the fuck did that come from, Riley?
Yeah.
We all know where it comes from.
Yeah. This is a good question. Thoughts on where low intensity fits into training?
Well, let me tell you something. I'm not a pro. I'm a huge fan of twice a days for seniors, because their tolerance for intensity diminishes and the push should be backed off, but I end up a little bit volume short, and so I really like people that are largely slowed down to speed up twice a day. And I would mix the stimulus. So I would encourage someone at 75 to take a pretty good effort swim in the morning and then a brisk walk in the afternoon, and to not let just be the one thing for that day.
And maybe it's a misnomer, the question, because I recently heard Stefan Roche on a podcast basically quoting you, and I think it was Stefan Roche, and he was or maybe it was your other protege, Hobart, but basically they were talking about like, hey, just because it's a long workout doesn't mean you don't bring the intensity to relative to the length of the workout. And if you look at marathon runners, they're not low intensity athletes. They're running fucking 5-minute miles, the best in the world.
And here's the problem for those kids. They don't have a science background, and so intensity means how hard or how much you care, and it becomes all this emotional shit.
Yeah.
Of course it was intense. He cried for an hour and his heart stopped or whatever, No, it's not like that. It's the physical units. It's that we're graphing power against time, duration of effort, and looking at the integration of that curve, that area under the curve for your total fitness. But there's a left side and a right side, and you can spend too much time on that right side.
What are your thoughts about machines being involved in the test of fitness? I have this huge dislike for them.
Someone's making money is what I'm hearing.
I don't particularly have the best way to articulate it yet, and maybe you won't agree with me. But when I see a workout at the games, it's 50 cals on the bike, and then whatever, bunch of front squats and rope climbs, and then finishes with 50 cals on the bike, and the winner is winning because he passes everyone up on this bike. I just think, man, that stationary bike, there's no component to it other than this really simple, rudimentary kind of output or transfer of energy. You're not balancing. There's no chance of injury. I guess there's some skill in like circling the pedals and the coordination with the handles. But I just hate all these machines in the games. These skiergs. When I started CrossFit, the only machine I ever saw, there was the Aerodyne, which was some sort of like thing you punish people on, or you did once a month to test people. And then of course there was the rower. But we warmed up with 5 rounds of Cindy.
What does that look like for the audience?
For the audience, there was a workout.
Have they found a way to take each of the athletes' screens and put it up on a jumbotron so everyone can watch the clock?
No, it's basically you're looking at the field, and the only way that you know who's in the lead by who gets on the machine first, and then when they're close to the finish, the judge will put his hand up, and he'll start like doing this.
Yeah.
As he gets closer. I'm not so much worried about the spectacle. I just hate the fact that a machine is. This is maybe a bad metaphor, but I figured it is. The machine kind of seems like what porn is to foreplay. Like if you use porn as foreplay instead of like kissing and dining. And
do you object to pushing a sled?
No, I don't. I don't object to pushing a sled at all. Nope. There's just something about these machines that determining who's the fittest. Like I'd rather see them do 50 pistols than 50 cals on the bike or something like that.
Yeah.
The tagline in the day around CrossFit, we don't use machines, we are the machines. So and I personally love machines. At 53, I love warming up on the assault bike. But when I see machines, I think of them as rehab devices for the elderly, for when you're in a pinch, or for some sort of like how you would be like, okay, guys, gather on the Aerodyne, 50 cals. And then, you know what I mean? Just as kind of like a fun thing for the class is like to do. You know what I mean?
When I expanded my gym, I think as important as anything in terms of what was happening to the programming is I was going to get my hands on 5 or 6 mountain bikes.
Yeah.
And we lived at the at the base of Research Park was at Rodeo Gulch. That's the big ride right up there, and I could go out in my truck before class and put 20 pairs of dumbbells of various denominations in the woods just off the road and leave someone up there, and then everyone get on the bikes and make this 1,600, 1,700 foot climb, and then do thrusters, and then come down and finish with pull-ups.
Yeah.
And it certainly wasn't safer than the bike, and there was issues of skill, but it was more fun for everyone, even me, maybe especially me. Right?
Yeah.
And so the guy that's training these girls at the mile and has all these scholarship athletes from Scotts Valley, we come to find out that he'd have girls run at a scholarship pace and then see for how long they could do that. Right?
Yep.
And et cetera. And there's remember telling Tony that, like, well, what else the fuck you gonna do? If you're the mile coach and all you do is run miles, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that? Right?
I stand corrected. Sevi, they had digital calorie counters next to each of the athletes' bikes. They did. They actually did. That's true. All of them weren't working perfectly, but they had these calorie counters next to the bike.
Illuminated device.
Yeah. And actually they were really nice, and that was kind of cool. I stand corrected because you could see the guy got on the bike first, a guy named Colton, and he was at 5 calories, and then you saw Jason Hopper, the champ, get on and catch him and pass him. So cool. they did have that. Those machines measure
that read. It's good.
Yeah. Those machines measure power output. It's relevant.
That's right.
But I don't think it should be a test that determines a machine of that lack of skill should be determining the winner of an event or who the champ is.
I don't think there's more skill to deadlifting. Not a lot.
No,
not really.
The
thing. I always took heat for introducing deadlift, snatch, clean. These are complicated movements. Hey, remember what I used to say about that?
Yeah.
In terms of athletic movements, they are marked by their incredible, unprecedented simplicity.
Right. Yeah, the power clean is not a complicated move.
Neither's the snatch.
Right. It's crazy that people say that. What the fuck is that noise, Greg? I think it's a bird. Some kind. Do you know what kind?
It was a boat that went by.
Oh.
Sorry. It's worse inside, I promise you.
Don't change the narrative, Sevi. This is how you become fake news. Hey, jackass, how about you just tell me what I messed up like the other guy and remind me that there was a counter next to the bike instead of being a dipshit? I'm not trapped in your head with you, moron. Anyway, I have a bias because my buddy Colton, who's in the games, is 5'4", and the bike's not his thing. You know what I mean? And it's but there's other events that aren't his thing, like
what if it had ended with a dramatic rope climb? You'd have kicked ass, right?
No, because he's got these big guys. I mean, this guy Jason Hopper's huge, Greg. He's over 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. I mean, no. I asked Dave the other day, did you ever think a guy this big would win the games? He said no. And the big guys are now just catching up in everything: the gymnastics, the pegboards, just everything. This little guy did back squat 570. Set a PR in front of the crowd.
Gee whiz.
Yeah. So, no fires in Idaho?
No, but there's a little smoke residue. The fires were never Idaho.
Canada?
Some, but fractions compared to what California, Oregon, Washington, and Canada had.
And so, no threat of you coming home early. It's not like.
No, well, yeah, there is. I mean, this is just about when the fire season picked up and became intolerable for me. But I got a low threshold. I have too many options.
Yeah. How's everything else? This is your first year with the water slide and the diving board, everything's safe and good? And
yeah, we've been out on the boats like furiously. I mean, there's been, 6-hour surf sessions.
wow.
Yeah, they just come home exhausted. Everyone's getting up. They're all surfing.
And it's a boat and it just puts up a wave behind it?
Yeah, puts up a little, and Isla, the little girl who's traveling on airplanes and winning prizes, is a small little thing. So she's getting like a shoulder high wave.
And does she have to hold a rope? Do you hold a rope?
Just to start to get up.
And then somehow the physics of it, you stay behind the boat.
Dude, the boat puts up a 3.5 foot, 4 foot wave with a perfect little curl. It's cool.
Yeah.
You coming out?
Yeah, I want to. I got fucking I got home from Albany, and I feel like I'm like in what is it called, a one-legged ass kicking contest. I feel like I'm just like a million things going on simultaneously, trying to keep up.
This has been a great year for fishing. The kids are just pulling fish after fish after fish.
Do they bring them up and cook them?
No, we throw them back.
And what are they catching? The same fish over and over? I don't mean the same particular fish.
But trout and a lot of smallmouth bass. Or largemouth. Cool. I forget which one, whatever. It's fucking fish.
And your kids know how to do that. Just go down there with their pole, string it up themselves.
But they can all tangle a line too, which is.
What is that? You mean like their own line? Like all of a sudden they're shit's a mess
into a rat's nest, And I got lures stuck in things. I'm worried someone's gonna lose an eyeball, but I worry too much.
The last time we went fishing, one of the kids put his pole back and it got stuck in Joey's head.
Oh, that kind of shit.
Yeah, and Donovan had to pull it out with a pair of pliers, and the kid did not like it. And it was a little hook, and it still was nasty. You got one stuck in the head yet?
No. But upholstery on the boat and awnings on the fucking dock. And
oh shit.
So.
Oh shit.
Story. Grown-ups do it too, though. I like the fly fishing because we use a barbless hook.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't catch you in the eye, it's no big deal. You can take it out of anything.
Have you taken out the Standcraft?
Yes.
How was that?
Great. It's a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything about it's cool. The sounds, the way it turns.
Grip on the water, just everything. Do you see it down there?
No.
Look.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I see it. Wow. God, it's so James Bond 1960.
Yeah, it's a beast.
Hey, when you take that out, do people stare at that one?
Yeah, but they're around. I mean, they're made in the hood, and Rob that runs the company is a local guy. They're making our stairs down to the water. They built our pier. People know what that is. It's somewhat iconic of Coeur d'Alene. You see it in, pop art of it's kind of like the Chris Craft is to Tahoe and Newport, Rhode Island. The Standcraft is here. I believe they were founded about the same time. I think they're both like 1933 companies, if I have that right.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of those in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
That's a fiberglass boat, right?
No, well, it is now, and it's now. I think the brand was sold to Chinese, is what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. But both Chris Craft and Standcraft got out of the mahogany boat scene and went towards fiberglass, and Standcraft never completed that move. And then Rob got the company and pushed it back put all the fiberglass out, and went back to the wooden boats. And now they're the king of that. Chris Craft isn't making those, and Rob is.
I bet Greg has pounded Sevi over that banister before. No, Greg and I have actually never had sex, but thank you for.
Can't say anything or I'll be homophobic.
He wanted to. I said no. Oh God, you guys are out of your fucking minds.
It's great.
Any sightings? Go ahead.
It's the audience, man.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
That's whatever.
Okay.
You know, Grandma. Did I tell this story on the show where Grandma gave the kids crayons and she drew a peace sign and Riley turned it into the bird, and she looked over and Robbie's drawing someone getting their penis cut off and they're bleeding everywhere, and Red's got a gun and bullets are coming out, and he drew the killing of the shooting. He saw the pictures of that dead guy that shot Trump.
Oh yeah,
Crook or Crank or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He did a great rendition of that, and Grandma's traumatized, right? And so I was like, "You didn't give him crayons, did you? You can't do that. You can't give them crayons or paper. You know? They're good kids until you do that."
Their
So I
deepest
turned around,
thoughts
flipped it
come
like
out.
it's your fault. Then I told Maggie, "It's like, honey, that's normal shit. You know, you give a kid a crayon, a blank piece of paper, and if they got a brain, they might do some pornography."
Right.
And they shocked her, right? And that's like, there's what you're after.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, my kids love them. My kids think the middle finger is the greatest thing of all time.
Well, how about flipping a peace sign into that? That's pretty good.
Yeah, they can't even believe. Yeah, kids can't even believe that you could tell someone to fuck off without your parents seeing. Like I see them flipping each other off. Any Elway sightings or Kardashians or you've been?
No, but I haven't been over that side. We've just been going up and down the lake. But we have seen moose, and we had a mama with 2 babies, and I was tripping because the babies are, I guess, 2-year-olds, and they're horse size. You know?
Wait, they're still with mom at 2 years old?
I think so.
Wow.
Because the deer are too. We have deer that'll have little spotted ones, and then in betweens hanging with them.
Wow, that's crazy. And then I saw the footage of the mama bald eagle with the babies, and they were tearing at some carcass. What were they eating in that video?
I don't know, but she's got 2 babies that are as big as she is.
Yeah.
And they don't, and flying in the air and in the tree, they don't look that big, but you walk over to them and they're somewhere around thigh height. And those yellow feet with the half-inch long razor sharp nails they're pretty impressive.
Any Kardashians? No, but we've seen moose. I saw John Elway take a key bump in a steakhouse bathroom. Oh, please. No, you didn't. And I saw the snake, and I saw the giant beetle.
Maggie's got her Instagram popping.
Yeah, it looks like you're having an incredible time.
There's a lot here. It's a different part of the world. It's pretty cool.
Jason Miller, wasn't the middle finger invented by the French to show they still had their bow drawing finger during battle? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm good to go.
The middle finger.
What'd you say?
I didn't even know you drew a bow with the middle finger.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I've seen. I was kind of figured it was the pointer finger, maybe 2. But then there's a thing you pull, right? A little device.
It's got now there's like a tab.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see him take a bump. All right. With that second, with being so emphatic, I believe you.
Must be true. I tell you what, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good neighbor. I was introduced to him, and I told him that you made a lot of people at my high school miserable because he was at a neighboring high school, and Elway threw a crazy beatdown on on the Chatsworth High kids, I don't remember the number, but it was like, how was it 65-14? It was because of this Elway guy. And so I met him here just a couple years ago. And 3 days later, I was over on the other side doing something, and I hear my name being yelled, and he's 100 yards away waving frantically. And that's a nice guy, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So like once you're introduced to him, he likes you and he's friendly. And I heard a story that I thought was great and just spoke to his talent. Bunch of guys bet him a ton he wasn't going to get up on the foil first day, and he did.
Oh wait,
these 25-year-olds that are really good at it thought that was an impossibility for a 55-year-old guy or whatever he is, 65-year-old guy. But he did. He got up in one day, and he's huge. He's a monster.
Yeah, this guy, CrossFat, says he has massive hands.
He's a talented man and a kind human being, and a good role model. And even if someone saw him do something that isn't healthy, whatever.
Someone saw him drinking a Coke.
When was that? In the 80s?
And snorting a line of Coke. Hey, do you own a foil?
No, but I asked Maggie. I don't understand why. And boy, our fireman friend and doctor friends are, yeah.
Oh, really?
Hurt on them.
From the blade?
Yeah, colliding with it. It's got to be, right? I mean, what else is there?
Oh, or you mean like falling off and then the blade getting you?
Yeah, catching it in the face. I think. I don't know. I don't know what the nature of the injury is.
And then on top of that, Elway caused more problems because of the Raiders and the 49ers. If you were a California kid, although I think Joe Montana put it to him pretty good. All right, go ahead.
His career highlights,
Yeah.
He and Joe Namath both had almost a ball in the air you could identify as being them. Namath maybe more so. It always seemed to me that he put more arc on it. There's fucking sky high catch that's just like perfectly in someone's hands. Gives them time to get downfield, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That either speaks to like the signature of their throw or how much football somebody watched, or both.
One of the best athletic things I've ever seen, just in terms of an athlete knowing her sport, was Caitlin Clark throwing the ball 5 seconds out of play with 3 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, up in the air.
Avoided the obvious foul. I would thought it was absolutely one of the coolest things I've ever seen an athlete do. They were clearly going to come up and give her a foul the shit out of her, right?
Yeah.
She throws the ball up and she's high-fiving, and the buzzer goes off and she's still high-fiving, and then you see the ball slam down behind her. It's pretty cool.
That is cool. I have 9 of John Elway's rookie cards. $3,000 times 10. Three graded 10s. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. He's a good dude.
Gary Roberts told me. I have two Tyson Bagent stories. Gary Roberts told me he has a friend who's invested his entire life savings into Tyson Bagent cards, and he sent me the video. And it's just boxes and boxes of them. And then yesterday, Sarah Cox was telling me about a $250,000 Tyson Bagent card.
Really? It's because Gary has them all.
Maybe because Gary Roberts' friend has them all. Yeah, wow, maybe. That's a hell of a thing to do. But he's in his 3rd year in the NFL. He's either going to get traded and go somewhere and play, or I don't know what's going to happen to him. But
good. I'm glad for him. It's great. Hey, look up the Texas lottery scam.
Is it old or is it new?
No, it's new. Some group of people fundamentally destroyed the Texas lottery, and it's in a hiatus kind of position right now. But they figured out how to buy enough tickets to where your odds of winning were greater than the risk. And was
it illegal or was it legal?
It's being made illegal. It's there's a lot of butthurt people, but no, maybe it looks like technically that was cool. But
They
people
figured
lose
out you could buy
jobs.
so many. How did they do it? What can you
Just
explain it? The math?
they bought millions of tickets, and they set up businesses to sell tickets, like little liquor stores, to dispense tickets, to shorten their process, to reduce the number of couriers they had to go around to lottery sites and buy tickets. And I think eventually one of the winning tickets was sold at an entity that is the people that are buying the tickets. And
one
great.
jackpot winner spent $25 million on nearly every possible number combination, while another bought tickets through a third-party app. The unusual circumstances surrounding two of the largest lottery jackpots in Texas history have touched off a furious debate about the unorthodox methods used to snag the prize and have led to the governor and attorney general to announce investigations. Someone won a $95 million lotto Texas jackpot by spending $25 million to buy nearly every possible number. Hey, that doesn't seem illegal at all to me.
No, it's great though. It's great.
The winner, identified only as a business entity called Rook TX of Scott Plains, New Jersey, ended up claiming the lump sum of $57 million. What?
It's rip-off Texas. You've been rooked.
Oh yeah. Can you buy millions of lottery combinations? In early 2023, as the jackpot in Lotto Texas ballooned over months without a winner, someone figured out a way to almost guarantee a win, according to Ryan Mendel. Wow, how do you buy 25 million tickets?
You need a business with employees. It's great.
Then in the 3 days leading up to the drawing, people went to the stores and entered millions of numbers of combinations using QR codes that had been loaded onto iPads, Mr. Mendel said. The Texas Lottery app allows customers to generate QR codes that can be scanned at participating retailers to generate tickets. The operation caused a giant spike in sales, with about 27 million tickets sold in less than 72 hours compared to the 2 million in the typical lotto. God, that seems like a big risk. What if you fucked that up and lost your 25 million?
You know, Israel erased the identifying code of some crazy number of billions of cryptocurrency held by Iran.
Oh my goodness.
Like the biggest crypto loss ever. And they didn't take it. They just cut them off of the numbers. So they don't.
No Agent card is worth $260K. Even as 1-to-1 autos go right now for $850 to $2K max. I have over 400 Tyson signed inserts. I guess it's this card, Ken, that it's a black card and it's 1 of 1, and there's a Caleb Williams one too. But I trust you. Maybe I got my information wrong. You're the local card expert. There was some true story of a random dad who figured out he could somehow mathematically increase his odds by buying a bunch of tickets.
There's that. I know of that too. Several of the lotteries have been outsmarted by people, and that's just a beautiful thing, really.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. Hey,
all right.
Arnold, thank you very much for coming on.
It's always a pleasure.
Fastest 50 minutes of my life. I'll talk to you later on today.
I got an HOA conversation to have here.
Oh, anything? Is it just a regular one, or is there something you guys are fighting over?
No, I like a handful of us with multiple lots think we got enough oomph here to get the lady who's made it her life to sort through your garbage that runs the HOA. You know what I mean? She's like driving by, taking pictures of the houses, and you have meetings, and she lets you know your car sat up top too long and your gate's the wrong color.
So you guys are gonna vote her out?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yes, if I have to find something else to do with her retirement.
How long has she lived there?
I don't know, but it's just the whole thing was so bad until Clark Reed told me that he's got a neighbor in Newport Beach who's doing a reality series, the HOA. And the theme is that the worst of all human behavior can be found within the people that get their hands on the HOA and run it. That it gives license and authority to some people's worst instincts.
Okay.
And I was like, I love that. I've seen it. Yeah, we all know what that is.
Next week, part 2 of the HOA. Dude. All right. Love you, buddy.
Figure a time to come up.
I am. I'm going to. Okay.
All right.
Bye. Wow, that was fast. Kill Taylor in 5 minutes. I got to go make another cup of coffee. See if Pool Boy's uploaded. Is Pool Boy uploaded? $2,000 high ground beef chips. Love you guys. Talk to you in very soon. Bye bye.